A 9-year-old girl tore her last sandwich in half and gave the bigger piece to a stranger. She had no idea that man would change her life forever. Mila lived with her grandmother in East Richmond, Virginia. They were barely surviving. That morning, she opened the fridge and found almost nothing, just ketchup and old rice. She grabbed the last 2 slices of bread, the heels nobody wants, scraped out what was left of the peanut butter, and wrapped it in a paper towel. That was all she had for the entire day. At the bus stop, she noticed a man at the end of the bench, thin, shaking. His jacket was torn. He looked like he hadn't eaten in days. People walked right past him. But Mila sat down. She pulled out that sandwich, tore it in half, and gently placed the bigger piece on his knee. She kept the smaller one. The man's eyes opened. His lips trembled.
Why would you do that?
She shrugged like it was nothing.
You looked hungrier than me.
Then she got on the bus. Didn't look back. Went to school hungry and never complained. Now here's what she didn't know. That man was Edward Whitmore, a military veteran who had been missing for 2 years. And his older brother? The police commissioner of Richmond. That night, Edward collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. When Commissioner Gerald Whitmore arrived, he asked only one question.
Who found you?
Edward could barely speak, but he whispered,
A little girl gave me her only food. She's the first person in 2 years who treated me.
Gerald pulled the security footage, watched that little girl share her last meal without hesitation, without an audience, without knowing anyone was watching. He picked up the phone.
I want 50 officers in full dress uniform at her door by 7 a.m.
The next morning, Mila opened her front door, and her eyes went wide. She froze. 50 police officers, full dress uniform, standing in 2 perfect rows from her porch to the street. Not a single one moving, she whispered.
Grandma, did we do something wrong?
The sergeant knelt down to her level.
No, sweetheart. We're here because you did the only thing that was right.
But what happened next? That's a story you're not ready for. Part 2 is coming.
A poor girl was about to be thrown out of the house. That same day, a powerful man arrived in the village. He came with one purpose: to choose a bride. Her name was Lily, but no one called her that. They spoke to her like she didn't belong there. She woke up early and handled all the housework. Cooking, cleaning, washing, everything was her duty, but she was never allowed to eat with the family. She stood aside and ate whatever was left behind. Lily had lost her parents when she was very young. Since then, she had been living with her relatives. Uncle Thomas gave her shelter, but nothing more, and Aunt Rebecca treated her like a burden. We gave you a roof, so know your place, she said. Lily never argued. She stayed quiet every time. In the same house lived their daughter, Sophia. Beautiful, confident, and always dressed well. Everything in the house belonged to her comfort. She always came first no matter what happened. Meanwhile, in the city, Ethan made a decision. A young billionaire, calm and highly respected. He stood up and told his manager one thing. Prepare the car, we are going to the village. I will invest there and choose my bride too. Hours later, his car entered the quiet village. People stopped and stared at the luxury car. He asked for Thomas's house and went there. Uncle Thomas welcomed him with great respect. Inside, Rebecca secretly watched everything. This man is rich, she whispered to herself. She quickly called Sophia with urgency. Fix yourself and serve him tea right now, and make sure Lily stays out of sight. Sophia walked out with a confident smile. She placed the cup in front of Ethan, but Ethan seemed distracted for some reason. At that moment, Rebecca shouted loudly, Lily, go outside and clean the yard now. Lily stepped out quietly with an old broom. Her clothes were simple, her face calm. She walked across the yard without a word. And in that exact second, everything changed. Ethan's eyes suddenly locked onto her. His hand froze and the cup tilted slightly. Sophia kept talking, trying to impress him. But Ethan was no longer paying attention. He only saw the girl no one else noticed. Lily didn't even look back at him once. She kept working like every other day, as if she didn't exist in this world, but this time someone was watching her. Rebecca noticed this and her smile faded. This was not what she had planned at all. For the first time, Sophia was ignored, and Lily was being seen by someone important. And what Ethan did right after this moment left the entire family completely shocked. Want to know what he did next? Comment part 2 and I'll post the next episode.
A man came home late at night after work. He turned on the light and found his wife and son asleep. Quietly, he pulled the blanket over both of them, then gently turned off the light and closed the door. You might expect him to feel disappointed that his wife hadn't made dinner for him, but instead, he simply began working in silence. First, he cleared away the leftovers, wiped down the table, took out the trash, and mopped the floor. Then, he hung up the laundry and washed the dishes. After that, he started preparing dinner. A while later, his wife woke up. Seeing the blanket over her, she knew her husband had come home. She walked to the living room and hugged him tightly, her heart aching for how hard he worked all day, only to come home and keep working. She asked why he hadn't woken her. He simply replied, "Because you've already worked so hard. If you think she's incredibly lucky to have a husband like him, leave a heart."
This shopkeeper did not take money from anyone, and he shouted every day, "Hey, this shop is completely free for everyone. Take what you need." People were confused at first and laughing too much, but slowly everyone started coming, taking food, clothes, anything they wanted. No one knew why he was doing it. But one day, a girl asked him, "Why do you give everything for free?" The young man smiled and said, "I have TB. Doctors say I won't live more than 6 months. I've never had a family. So before I go, I just want to help others. This is all I have, and I want it to matter." She didn't take anything. She just sat with him, and the next day she brought him food. Others began doing the same, but one morning the shop didn't open. The young man had passed away in his sleep. That night, the entire street stood outside his shop, holding candles, remembering the man who gave everything just to feel a little less alone. And some people give everything without asking for anything. If this story meant something to you, write "rest in peace" in the comment, and please like this video to keep his memory alive.
The cleaner was sweeping the store late at night when he found a bag inside the trash can. He slowly lifted it. It was heavy. When he opened it, his hands began to shake. Inside were perfectly cut diamonds shining under the lights. "These diamonds could change my life," he whispered. "My sister is waiting for surgery. My mother hasn't eaten properly in days." He sat on the store steps, staring at the bag. For a full minute, he said nothing. Then he found an internal ID card inside. The owner's name was printed clearly. He looked at it in shock. He tied the bag shut. "If I take them, I can change my life tonight, but I'll never be able to lift my head again." Meanwhile, the jewelry store owner was speaking to his assistant at home. "I left that bag of diamonds there on purpose. I want to see who can resist temptation." The assistant laughed. "A cleaner won't resist that kind of value." The owner shook his head. "If he returns every single one, I'll promote him to store manager. I reward honesty." The next morning, the cleaner walked into the office. His clothes were worn. His shoes were thin. "I found this in the trash last night." The employee looked surprised. "You didn't take any?" "No, it's not mine." The employee locked the diamonds away, but later he made a secret call. "I have the diamonds. I'll say the cleaner returned them with some missing." A laugh came from the other side. "Good. Poor people don't deserve luck." The next day, the owner arrived. "Who found my diamonds?" "The cleaner, but some were missing when he returned them." The owner's face hardened. So he failed the test. Outside, the cleaner wiped the display windows. Sunlight fell on his tired face. He was exhausted, but peaceful. "I did the right thing," he thought. Suddenly, a guard approached. "The boss wants to see you." Inside the office, the owner stood with arms crossed. "I trusted you. You disappointed me. I swear I didn't take a single diamond." "Enough. You're fired." Tears filled the cleaner's eyes. Before leaving, he stopped. "Sir, before I go, there's something you must know." If you want to know what happens next, comment part 2.
A blind woman is sitting outside a big company, selling mineral water bottles and some candies. At that moment, a woman who is going for a job interview in that company sees her and says, "Why are you disturbing people here? Go away from here." The blind woman politely says, "Ma'am, please buy some candies or 1 bottle of water. I need to buy medicine for my sick mother." Hearing this, the job candidate buys 1 water bottle. But when she is about to give money, she sees some cash placed in front of the blind woman. She becomes greedy. When she realizes the woman cannot see, she steals all the money and leaves. After that, another job candidate passes by. The blind woman again requests her to buy water or candies, but this woman is very hard-hearted. She picks up all the water bottles and many candies and leaves without paying. After some time, the blind woman sits there worried and upset. Then a third job candidate comes to her and asks what happened. She tells him, "2 women just took my water bottles and also stole my money. Now I have nothing left to sell." Hearing this, the third candidate feels very sorry for her. He quickly goes and buys a pack of water bottles for her. He says, "Stay here. After my interview, I will come back and help you again." And then he leaves. When he reaches the interview office, the first 2 arrogant candidates are already sitting there. They start making fun of him. Looking at his appearance, they say, "You should go clean the streets or sit with that blind woman and beg." Just then, the company secretary comes and says, "Our owner will take some time to arrive, so please come with me. You can introduce yourself and I will ask some questions and check your files." She takes all 3 candidates into the interview room and asks, "Have you ever helped someone?" The first candidate says, "Yes, I am very kind. I give half of my salary to poor people." The second candidate says, "Our family is very educated. Every year we donate a good part of our wealth to help the poor." The third candidate says, "I never really got a chance to help someone. Since the age of 12, I have been doing small jobs and somehow managing to support my family." Then the secretary says, "My daughter will choose who gets the job." Suddenly, the same blind woman walks into the room, now perfectly fine and well-dressed. The 2 arrogant candidates are shocked. She says, "I am the owner of this company, and this woman here is my mother." She continues, "Our goal was to find someone who is honest and kind, so we could help them. That's why I pretended to be blind outside." Then she says, "This third candidate is the real deserving person for our $100,000 support." She takes out $100,000 from her pocket and gives it to the third candidate. With tears in his eyes, he thanks her again and again, because with this money he can start a good business and build a better future for his family. After this, the 2 arrogant candidates leave angrily. Do you think the millionaire company owner did the right thing by helping a poor person? Tell us in the comments.